Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing. Today, I'm in San Jose at the eMetrics Marketing Optimization Summit here with Laura Patterson. And we've been chatting a little bit about a marketing problem. That is, people not really setting marketing performance goals and wasting a lot of money. How do you see this as a problem? How does it show up?
That's a great question. So Ralph, what we see is marketers implementing all kinds of initiatives or activities, whether that's webinars or email campaigns or e-newsletters or any number of different things. They go off, they do all these activities, but they haven't put a stake in the ground of what they're trying to accomplish. So they have no idea whether or not they achieve their goal.
And probably, since they can't measure if they've accomplished it or not, they're doing things that are just a waste of time and money.
It's very possible.
So what's the solution to that? How do you set performance goals in a meaningful way?
Okay. Well, the very first thing is to understand the kind of business outcome you're being expected to produce. So for example, if you're trying to create sales appointments and you decide that you're going to use webinars as a way to surface qualified opportunities, then you want to know how many people do you need to have come to that webinar in order to get the number of sales appointments that you need. So we're going to do this webinar and we need 150 or 500 people. How many do you really need in order to have a successful webinar? So start with the business outcome. From that you'll know how to set that marketing objective.
So basically you say our conversion rate to customers or of some kind or another is approximately what, 20% maybe, or 10%? And so if this is 10%, then I need this many people to get this kind of outcome, or however you go about doing that.
That's right, and it needs to be something that you deploy every single time you're thinking about the email that you send out. So when you're sending out an email and you want them to download something on your website, how many people do you really need to have do that in order to get the business outcome?
Yeah. A lot of times we just do stuff because we do it. I think it'll help.
I think so too.
But what you're saying is be thoughtful, be purposeful. So step one is figure out what the company expects to happen. What's the second step?
Set your marketing performance target based on what you know historically converts to achieve that goal.
So this is a measurable goal, I'm sure.
Yes, you need to have this. The whole idea of a performance target is that you actually put a stake in the ground. This is what we're aiming for. This is what we're trying to hit. So when you complete the activity, you can then look and see, well, did we do it? Did we do what we said?
There's a big problem with this, Laura, and that is you could be wrong. Or you could fail.
Yes, and I know that's very scary, and that's why we have a tendency to avoid it. But if we don't do it, then we won't know what we need to do to get better.
Yeah, and we don't get better.
We don't get better.
And if you don't get better, you lose your job anyway.
That's true.
So this is important because I think we can get lazy.
Yes, and you know, back to the notion of it being scary, I don't think it's that people will fire us by experimenting. They'll fire us if we can't give them good answers. What worked, what didn't work, what should we do better? If by doing something like this, we'll be able to give our management information about here's what we could do better. It didn't go so well this time and here's why. Here's what I think we can do differently next time to do better. Or hey, this was a really successful program, let's do it again.
So this brings honesty to the process.
Yes.
And clarity.
Clarity.
So we're figuring out what the business expects of us, setting up a measurable performance goal that we're going to aim at. What's the next step?
Implement the program.
Okay.
Measure how you did.
Okay.
Analyze the results. So after you measure it, analyze the results, report, and then make recommendations on what to change or to repeat.
I think what we measure is important. I think what we measure has to be something that's directly as possible related to the business outcome.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can get measurements that will measure it exactly like we sold so many units and made so much money. But sometimes it's a little bit more tangential, but I think figuring out what to measure is one important part of this.
And that's exactly right. So by knowing the business outcome, it kind of serves as your beacon or your compass for what you ought to be measuring. So instead of coming back to someone and say we measured open rates, when what you really might have needed to measure was a download rate, right? Then maybe the open rate wasn't very interesting to the management team because what you really were trying to get people to do was be excited about your new product or offer, and that's measured by how many people went and downloaded the brochure.
Right. Well, it sounds like your fifth step, analyze, figure out how to do it better. it really speaks to this whole thing of continuous incremental improvement. That is, okay, I try something, now I find ways to, see how I did, find ways to improve it, do it again, do it better.
Yes.
And as we do this, we get a lot more efficient and profitable.
And effective.
Yep.
Which is what it's all about.
Thanks for sharing with us, Laura. I appreciate it. Tell me about your business and what you do.
Thank you, Ralph, for having me. I'm so excited. Vision Edge Marketing is a strategic and product marketing company. We've been around 10 years, and we focus on enabling businesses and marketing professionals to make better fact-based decisions, being able to use data to decide what they ought to be doing more of or better, and then in order to improve their marketing effectiveness.
Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.